I'm Michael.
I'm Jason.
We have quite the renovation story.
Yeah, it took 17 years. You could see dirt and sky when we bought the house. My daughter and I would walk our normal walk. She was in her stroller, and this house was on our walk. Saw the house, it had a for sale sign for it. I called Michael, she was out of town, and said, "Can I buy this house?" She had never seen the house, and we did.
He was so excited. He said, "This will take us 6 months and we'll be living in it." We had outgrown our first house, so we were ready to expand. We wanted to stay nearby. Normally I like to have a say-so in what we purchase, but he just was so excited, so I said yes. We immediately go see the house together when I get home, and we both see the potential. We're both visual people, so we are able to see beyond the mess that's in front of us.
From what we know, this house was originally built to be a corner store and a home at the same time. The family that built the home built it in 1911 and operated the store well into the 50s, and they raised 8 kids in the home at the same time. When we bought the house had been cut up into a triplex or a quadplex with random bathrooms and kitchens spaced throughout the home. We came in with a grand, aggressive plan that we were going to knock out all this stuff in a year or two. Then, had a baby, changed jobs, a great recession. Things keep happening, and slowly but surely, it took 17 years. The condition when we bought it was not very good. Where we're sitting right here, you could see dirt and sky when we bought the house.
I think it helped me personally to recognize we needed to phase this out because we had no plans of living elsewhere. So step one was to actually get in here and make it feel livable. A lot of painting, nothing that as you see it was how it was when we moved in. So I think phasing it out made me feel control in a very uncontrollable situation. It was too big.
And so one of the first steps was to undo the 3 apartments inside the grocery store. And then we originally lived inside the grocery store. And it was no really defined rooms. Everybody all in one big room. We had Stella a little area to the side that was her bedroom. But really, we had to get rid of all the random bathrooms, random kitchens, and get a clean slate to work with. The space we're standing in now is the storefront, the original storefront of Smith Loft Grocery Company.
I think our mission for this space was to bring this back to the bare bones of what it was. We've turned it into our home library / shared office space. Behind this wall was once the stock room for the store. And we thought it would be really fun to build out identical built-in shelving, adding in this library ladder so we can take the ladder on either side and climb up as needed. And it just provides us a space to put our collectibles and our life, really.
So we found a few weird, quirky things, old newspaper filings. But the coolest thing we found is that underneath a platform, a floor was constructed over part of the grocery store, and there was a giant safe in there. Now, I don't know the history of the safe, but the patent pending inside of it says 1856.
We assume it was the safe for the grocery store operations.
There was nothing of relevance or value or interest in there. It took me 4 locksmiths to find somebody that would touch it. Most of them came over there and said, "No, not touching it, not touching it." But finally found one who fixed it. So
we think that, the entry door is original to the store. Customers would come in, shop, and I guess if any employees needed to grab anything, they would come back here to what was once the stock room for the store. And now we've turned this into our primary bedroom suite.
In this room, we've pretty much redone every surface. Roughly from where we're standing here all the way to the exterior wall was a small efficiency apartment that had access to a side door. So we had to remove that and left the platform kind of as was. We cut it back, added the stairs, and created our closets up here on the platform. In these old historic homes, you do not have closets anywhere. So you have to be creative where you put your closets. When we were designing the primary bedroom suite, we decided this was our best bet. This 2 feet, 20-foot long run of closets. So I took some old doors that were in the house, bought some other doors, found some other doors, and put them all on a sliding rolling system. So now we have access to the full 20 feet of closets. All of these doors are not original to the house, but they are original to the neighborhood.
So it's really cool. I'm really proud of it. He built it out, like the interior is exactly what I would want in a closet, making the most of the space. So, I mean, I love it.
I've been building things since I was 10 years old. My dad actually renovated a house not too far from here in the early 80s. So on the weekends, I would knock down plaster walls or crawl under the crawl space because he didn't want to and I was little. So I've had hammer and nails in my hand since I was early teens. And then I went to engineering school, and with an engineering degree and now YouTube, you can figure out how to do anything, right? If you're willing to try it.
We are headed to our wet bar.
So what is now the walk-through wet bar was the only bathroom in the house that functioned when we bought the house.
When we finally landed on the design for the other bathrooms, we made sure we had all of those in place. And then we began to demo the room. You know, all of this was vanity, toilet.
This room was gutted down to the studs entirely.
We love to entertain, and we wanted a devoted spot for overflow service counter, cocktail area, a place where people can kind of go and help themselves. So it really makes us happy to have executed this. So this actually is an original door to the home. It connected the back mudroom to the original kitchen. So we decided it would be fun to take this door and add hardware hinges that would make this a swing door. We added in the frosted sign and thought it would be fun to give a nod to the original owners of the grocery store, which is Smith Loft Grocery Company. We love it now. It feels old and unique and kind of an homage to the original owners.
So now we are in the kitchen. This, I believe, was originally 2 small bedrooms that were an addition sometime in the 40s or 50s. It didn't really make sense then. So we ended up opening up this whole space and turning it into this kitchen.
This was a pretty big undertaking because we did not have plumbing on this side of the house. After living here for a few years and really landing on a design direction, it felt better to move the kitchen over here so we could see our backyard and just feel more connected to the back. And we opened all of these walls up so that we could have sort of a live inside and outside all at the same time.
So we spent years designing this kitchen, actually, because we lived in the other side of the house while we were renovating this area. So we had plenty of time to think about the kitchen. We both kind of had the same idea, but it took time to tweak some ideas. You know, does the sink go here? Does the stove go here? And eventually we, you know, over the course of a couple of years designing the kitchen, we came up with what's here today. Especially in the design phase of all of these renovations we've done, because we've taken 17 years, it's always been very, very thoughtful. And, you know, we'd get to a rough idea and slowly tweak, and then, you know, 6 months later, change something else. And so it gave us the time to really come to something we're both comfortable with, that I knew I could execute and that she would like. Yeah.
So this is what we like to call our breakfast area slash games and puzzle area, all around just family hangout. And we love this space just because it just allows that extra room to do the things you want to do without having to move a puzzle to put your dinner down or what have you. And when we moved into the house, this fireplace was hidden and we exposed it, and we just enjoyed so much what it came out to be as is. So we just decided to leave the exposed brick and let it be what it is for this side of the house. This side of the fireplace shares the same chimney as the dining room one, which we've built out completely differently. It's a little more formal. This is way more casual. In this old home, as far as a design plan or a design idea, that I think the thing that took precedence was working within the house. Like we like to call it working with the quirk, because these old homes are so weird and imperfect, and so embracing the imperfections and just kind of giving it a facelift. I don't know that this fireplace was ever meant to be exposed in this way. And so we just found levels and surfaces that we could make horizontal to be able to just have fun with candlelight and what have you. So we manipulated this a little bit. Next, we're gonna show you the dining room. What prompted the most recent and last renovation in this house was the dining room, and we had been invited to be a part of our historic neighborhood's candlelight tour of homes during the holidays. We'd been invited for years. We declined every year because I didn't have a dining room. And it's really where you can show off. We said yes about a year prior to the tour. We had a couple smaller renovations to do, and we wanted to hold this dining room as long as we could because it was our workshop and catch-all and place to hide everything when the guests come over. And so I guess the last couple of months before the tour was the grind. We thought that when we were going to finally give this space attention, that we wouldn't have that much to do, and little did we know we had everything to do, including ripping walls down, resetting the windows, painting, rebuilding the fireplace, redoing the floors, you name it. We got done in time for the tour with minutes to spare, it felt like. We literally finished 2 weeks before we went on tour, which gave us just enough time to get decorated. This is the room I've been waiting for since day one. Because we love to entertain and we love to cook and we love everyone over, this is the room that makes this home for me feel complete.
The dining room was complete in 2022. I believe she bought the dining room table in about 2016.
I actually bought the table in 2012.
It's sat here for 10 years.
I like to look to the future, and if I buy things, the other things will come, right?
This fireplace was in similar condition as the other side that you previously saw. But we decided to finish this fireplace correct for the age of the home. That is an antique heart pine mantle that we bought. That is an antique cast iron surround for the coal burning fireplace. One thing I love most about the process and renovation we did is that we have essentially handcrafted a home, and that we've been here in this home for so long, raised kids, so much experiences. This is our home.
17 years in the making. Wouldn't have changed a thing, except maybe the time frame. But we were so happy to show it and share it, and it's kind of like sharing our hearts, and we're really proud of it.